Hey guys, and welcome back on my YouTube channel. It's your boy Troll, and in today's video we're gonna be having a look at the best 5 Void Legendary Heroes in Raid Shadow Legends as of, well, it's basically February right now, so February 2025. After gathering the reviews from the whole community, this is basically what we all decided that the best 5 Void Legendaries are. Now let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree based on what we're gonna discuss later on. But without any further ado, actually with a very small further ado, guys, if you want to start your own brand new journey in Raid Shadow Legends in 2025, that's the perfect moment. Go check out the link in my description of the video where I can have my referral link, and basically by using this link you can start the journey, install the game, open a brand new account, and you will get 5 amazing heroes right now. So make sure to check it out. But let's go and check the 5 best Void Legendary Heroes in Raid Shadow Legends as of February 2025.
Welcome back.
So, number 5 on the list, we have Siphi the Lost Bride. Yes, this champion is not new, it's in the game already since some time. I think most of the veteran players already have her, and I'm pretty sure use her a little bit everywhere, mostly in the arena lately. But she is number 5, based on the community reviews and the feedback. She will be holding the position of number 5 best Void Legendary in February 2025. Now if we go over her skills, first of all she has the resistance aura in the battles where you increase your resistance by 80, hence why she's also used very often in the arena defense or even in the live arena. But other than that, she's also used in a lot of PvE dungeons, so you kinda can use her a little bit everywhere. Now when we go to her passive, she basically heals each ally by 10% of their max HP at the start of their turn. She has a 40% chance of removing freeze and fear debuffs from each ally, and then basically at the start of their turn. Now also if you have Rotos the Lost Groom at the start of their turn, they also are on their team. Now if we go and check her very first skill, she will basically revive a single ally with 55% HP and a full turn meter. Places a 50% increased attack buff and a 30% increased crit rate buff as well for 2 turns. Then we also have a place block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns and fills their turn meter by 30%. Then we also have a 60% increased defense and a 30% increased speed. And all of that also for 2 turns. So obviously this is very good. Now both of them you can reduce to 4 turns cooldown. 4 turns is still a bit high, especially in 2025 with all the legendaries that are coming out. Nevertheless, you still voted very high for her. Her auto attack, her basic attack basically, you have 100% once booked to put someone to sleep if not resisted. And if the target's turn meter is equal to or above 50%, the debuff cannot be resisted. And then heals all allies 5% of their max HP if the target's turn meter is below 50%. So overall, a great champion. I think we all appreciate to see her when we're gonna pull our Void shards. But yeah, that's for number 5. Let's go and now see number 4. So on the 4th spot, we have all voted for Acrizia, Void Legendary Dwarf. I have to say, I would love to see her. I just love the skin. The helmet that she has, I would love to have the possibility to have that in World of Warcraft. But yeah, insane. Now, if we look at her aura, she will increase all allies in all battles crit rate by 90%, which will basically allow you to have a lower requirements in terms of crit rate. In terms of her passive, decrease the damage taken from AoEs by 50%, which is just huge. And if a target's max HP is more than double this champion max HP, this champion attacks will deal damage based on the target's max HP instead of this champion's attack, which is just insane. Then when we go and look at her S3, so her 3rd spell, we're gonna be looking at Shutdown. So basically she will attack one enemy 2 times, has a 80% or 100 if you invest all the books, and obviously you will invest all the books, but she has a 100% chance of stealing 100% of the target's turn meter before attacking. However, this effect cannot be resisted if the target has a higher max HP than this champion. Then her S2 is basically attacks all enemies 2 times, places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield buff is equal to 5% of this champion's max HP for each critical hit. And also damage is based on enemies max HP, and attack. And I think all of them are actually. So it's really, the damage you're gonna do with the right stats will be incredible. Then we go into her A1, spell 1, attacks 1 enemy, has a 60% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, and the damage of this skill increased by 10% every time this skill is used, and then it can stack up to 100%. So obviously we would appreciate her against bosses or any sort of long fights. So Acrizia, spot number 4 as per the community reviews. Just for the outfit and the sword, I have to say the how she looks is just amazing. But yeah, guys, without any further ado, let's go and see what or who or what. Oh yeah, exactly. Wait, spot number. So on spot number 3 as a legendary Void Champions best top 5 2025, we have Lydia. Now personally, this is a choice that I would disagree. For me, Lydia, I guess, I don't know, not very subjective, I would put her in top 1, but based on the votes from the community, we are looking at a top 3, maybe just because how hard it is to get her. But let's go and check her skills. Besides how amazingly she looks, and basically, I don't know, she reminds me of StarCraft 2. You know, I just have like this nostalgia feeling of being right now in 2000, I think it was 10 or something like that, playing StarCraft 2. Definitely, yeah. So yeah, definitely Lydia for me. I disagree. I would put her on top 1, but at the end of the day, the public votes first. Now, if we've been looking at the aura, she will increase the resistance in arena battles by 100, which is insane. If we look at her passive, basically denies enemy revive attempts. This works even if this champion is dead. If this champion is alive, holy moly, okay, I was saying, then denies enemy revive attempts. This work even if the champion is dead. If this champion is alive, when an enemy revive is denied, revives all dead allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. Grants an extra turn instead if the hero, if there are no dead allies. If this champion is dead, when the enemy revive is denied, revives this champion with 50% HP and turn meter. This skill will ignore block revive. Now if we go to nullification, spell number 3, attacks 1 enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 100% after books of placing poison sensitivity, sensual debuff for 2 turns. The second hit has a 100% chance of placing block debuffs and block active skills for 2 turns. Insane. If we go into the S2, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance, 100% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff and 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. This champion is just, if you have her, you're done. The game is finished. Also places a 25% strengthened buff and a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is just magnificent. This is the perfection in one champion. If we go into the oppression, which is her skill number 1, attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a fear. You can increase it obviously to 100%. Has a 100% of increasing the duration of any poison sensitivity debuff for 1 turn. Now if we look at the passive effect, because this is not all, attacks enemies with this skill whenever they place a freeze, stun, fear, true fear or petrification debuff on an ally. Yes, you heard me right. The number of attacks increases according to how many debuffs are placed at that time. 1 attack for each freeze, stun, fear, true fear or petrification. Now the very super important, guys, super important, the first attack will only target the attacker, while all extra hits will attack random enemies. Yes, and we have to remember about it. And yeah, can only attack each enemy once. So yeah, overall, Lydia, as per the public, number 3 in my heart, and in my personal opinion, number 1. But without any further ado, let's go to number 2. So on top 2 position, the public has voted Krisk the Ageless. Yes, the legendary Lizardman is back on the top tier list. I have to say I see him everywhere now, even you voted for him to be top 2. So yeah, he's getting his top 2. Now why is he getting his top 2? Which is kind of justified, but again, as always, let me know in the comments what do you think, guys. Now, if we're gonna go and look at his passive, at the start of each round, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, equal to 50% of this champion's max HP. Also has a 75, which can be increased to a 100% chance of placing a decreased defense and a 50% decreased attack debuff on the attacker for 1 turn when hit, which is just insane, guys. Now, if we're gonna go and look at the spell number 3, Invincible Shell, places a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn and places a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns. The perfect tank. This is the definition. Places also a 30% increased speed buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Now, if we look at his S2, attacks all enemies and places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this one, because obviously he will be tanking, for 2 turns. Also, places 2 15% continuous heal buff on this champion for 1 turn and increase the duration of all allies buff by 1 turn, and you can push this to 3 turns, which is very, very good. And now if we're gonna go and look at his basic attack, let's call them like that, attacks all enemies, has a 30 increase to a 50 chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. So as you can see, Krisk is an incredible tank champion that we all would like to have, especially because of his passive, and therefore in your hearts, he has taken the 2nd place on the podium. Now, without any further ado, let's see who is the top 1 legendary Void champion in February 2025 as voted by the public. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the podium, welcome on the top 1. Warlord has taken your hearts and stole the 1st place from all of those Void champions. Yes, you have all voted for Warlord to take the spot number 1, top position, contender numero uno, as to be the best Void legendary champion in raid in February 2025. Now, if we look at the skill set, we're gonna have increased resistance by 80 in all battles, my bad. And then if we check the skill number 3, we have Orcish Ritual, so attack all enemies. However, he will have a 100% chance after increased to put each target's skills on cooldown, guys. Yes, 100% chance. If you have the right accuracy, basically no one will be having any cooldowns. And then has also a 30% chance to deplete fully each target's turn meter. This is just crazy, guys. This is so scary. If he's available and he can launch this spell, this is just game over for the opponents. And then if we go and look at Protection of Gods, right? This is the spell number 2. Places a block debuff on all allies for 1 turn. It is a 4 turn cooldown, but you can decrease it to 3, which might be a little bit short, but then also places a shield buff on all allies equals to 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns, and then heal all allies by 25% of their max HP. Then if we check at his spell number 1, attacks 1 enemy, has a 25% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1. So there you go, guys. This is the top 5 Void legendary champions in February 2025 as voted by the public. So thank you very much for coming and watching. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the public or not, or if you think there are better champions who should be on the top 5 list. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.